Hello again. So, we're moving on to the second chart in the book Understanding and Using English Grammar by Betty Yazar. And I'm going to divide chart 1, 2 into two different videos. The first one, we're going to talk about how do I make simple present. And in the second one, we'll talk about how do I make present progressive. The book gives this a different title. It calls chart 1, 2 simple present and present progressive, affirmative, negative, and question forms. Means the same thing, but I thought this would be a little bit clearer for you. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how do I make simple present? Well, there are three main kinds of sentences in English. There's actually a fourth one, but we're not going to worry about that. There are statements, negative statements, and questions, okay? So a statement is when I say something is true. I say this is true. Your book calls that affirmative, but again, I thought statement might be a bit clearer. Let me give you an example of a statement. So I might say, let's see here. Let me use a different color. Let's see here. Bill blank. What does Bill do as a habit? Let's think about that. Let's see here. Maybe Bill blank eat dinner at 6:30. So if he does this often or usually, and it's his habit now, then I can use simple present. So when I make simple present, if it's a statement, then what I want to think about is, okay, what is the subject? What is the person or thing that is doing this action? Here it's Bill. Bill is a he. And you remember from the last video, we were saying, if the subject, if the person or thing who does this action, Bill is the person who eats, person or thing does the action, is a he, a she, or an it, then I'm going to use verb with an S. So I would say, Bill eats dinner at 6:30. How is that? Good? So the other part that we talked about is if it's a he, she, it, I use an S. If it's not he, she, it, if it's something else, if it's I, you, we, they, then no S. So I might say they. Or let's do a they. I might say, I should use green. Ralph and Alice blank eat dinner at 6. Because Ralph and Alice, more than one person, Ralph and Alice are a they. So because it's not a he, she, it, it's they, then I would say Ralph and Alice eat, no S, dinner at 6. So he, she, it uses an S. Everything else, I, you, we, they, no S. So let's put, oh my gosh, I forgot his name. I forgot the name that I used. Oh well. We'll just put, I think it was Bill. I forget. Anyway, Bill eats dinner at 6:30. Let's put that back there. Now, let's talk about negative statements here. Negative statement is a statement that uses not or has the idea of not, okay? So here, let's see here. Let's write another statement about Bill. Bill blank eat not dinner at, let's see, he eats dinner at 6:30, so let's say he does not eat dinner, doesn't eat dinner at 9. Okay, now, so for the positive statement, I say Bill eats dinner at 6:30. For the negative statement, take a minute and see if you know this. Bill blank, oops, sorry, I want to change that. I want to say, eat not dinner at 9. What would I put in this blank? I want to show that this doesn't happen at 9 o'clock. Okay, happens at 6:30. Okay. Oh, by the way, you can always pause the video, but I'm just going to move ahead right now. So, negative statements in simple present are a little bit weird because in English, I have to add an extra word when it's a negative statement. For an affirmative statement or just a regular statement, he, she, it, s, I, you, we, they, no s. He, she, it, like Bill, uses an s. I, you, we, they, no s. But for negative statements, I need to add another word. The word that I need to add is some form of do. And so what I'll use is I want to use a different color here. Let me see. I'll use do plus not plus simple form. Simple form of the verb is the form of the verb that has no s, no ed, no ing. Well, you probably know that. You might have learned that as base form. Yeah, I want to kind of keep moving fast because this is an advanced book. But, so, I'll use do plus not plus simple form. Let's take a look at this now. So, to show this is not his habit, negative statement, Bill blank not eat dinner at 9. So, first question we want to ask ourselves is, okay, my subject is Bill. What form of do I want to use with Bill? Well, let's think of it another way. Do I say Bill do or Bill does? Take a minute and think if you need it. Okay. Now, you probably know when I use he, she, it, the form of do I use is does. So I'd say Bill does. And then I have not, does not, and then I have simple form of eat. Bill does not eat dinner at 9. Now, an important thing, and this especially if you learned English by just talking with people and you haven't studied grammar. Let me just ask you a question. Bill does not eat dinner. At the end of eat, right here, question, should I have an S? Answer is no, okay? The reason is, well, first of all, if you said yes, I want an S, you're right that in a regular statement I'll use an S. But in a negative statement, I want to use simple form. Remember, simple form is no S, no ED, no ING, okay? So, or base form, the form that you look up in the dictionary. Okay, now, so I'd say Bill does not eat dinner at 9. I'll use do and not in simple form. Now, let's try another one just to be fun. Let's see here. Let's see here. What do you say? What if I say we blank eat not dinner at 9? What would I put here? Remember, I want to use do plus not plus simple form. Do plus not plus simple form. Okay. You can pause the video if you want to, or if not, you don't have to. Oh, by the way, if you're watching it with somebody and I ask you a question like this, talk about it together. That's really great. That's really a very good way to learn. When I'm actually working with students in a class, that's what I'll usually ask them to do. Okay, now, negative statements. I'll use do and not for simple form. So I ask myself, with we, what form of do shall I use? Do I say, I ask myself, do I say we do or we does? I hope you know it's we do, right? Because he, she, it uses an S. Everything else, I, you, we, they, no S. and this is we. So I'd say we do not. And again, no S, eat dinner at 9. Okay. Now, I'm trying to think if I want to say anything more about that. If I were teaching a class right now, I'd be looking at your faces and seeing if anybody looked like they had a question or were confused. But I can't do this because it's a video. I'm going to go ahead and think. I'm going to think, okay, if you're watching this video, you probably know when you already know it. So, I hope that's true. Oh, I want to pause and tell you questions about verb tenses online for free. So you can find it for free. You don't have to pay anything. And you can just download it onto your computer and it will explain all of this in a lot more detail. Okay? Let me tell you how you can find it. If you Google my name, or you use Yahoo or Bing or whatever search engine your computer uses, if you Google my name, which is Kent Uchiyama, Kentuchiyama, and then maybe add the word verb tenses, you will find the book. You can go and click on it. You can read it online, or you can click on it and download it to your computer. It's really long, maybe I think it's over 150 pages now. So if you try to print it, it would use a lot of your ink and a lot of your paper, but you can also just keep it on your computer. Okay, and this will explain everything that I'm going to tell you about verb tenses, but in a lot more detail. And so it might be good if you like that. Ken Uchiyama verb tenses. Okay, now let's go on to how do I make questions in simple present. Okay, let's see here. Let's say our subject is Let's say I want to make a question about Barack Obama because I like Barack Obama. So Barack Obama eat dinner at 6:30. Okay. So Barack Obama eat dinner at 6:30? So I want to ask, is this Barack Obama's habit? Does he do this usually or every night? Okay. Well, actually, let's just pause for a second here and ask yourself, how would I make this question? Let me add the word usually here. Usually happens more than once. So that, I think, will make it really clear this is a habit. And I could add these here too. I could say Bill usually eats dinner at 6:30, or we do not usually eat dinner at 9. Okay, so Barack Obama eat dinner at 6:30? How would I make that question? Barack Obama eat usually dinner at 6:30. Okay. Oh wait, I don't want to put usually there. Excuse me. Never mind. Let's forget usually. All right. Now, the way I make a question is, let me see, I want to get a color that will look different here. The way I make a question is I also use an extra word. Remember when we were talking about negative statements? Negative statements use the extra word do. Questions also use do. A question in English will use do plus subject plus simple form. Notice I'm putting SF here. SF means simple form, not San Francisco. Okay, so I want to make this question. So the first word I'll write is do. So I say, oh, what form of do will I use with Barack Obama? So, I say, oh, Barack Obama, it's a he, I'll use does. So I'll start by writing the word does. Then the subject, the person I'm talking about, the person who's doing this action of eating, is Barack Obama. I hope I have enough room to write all of this. Does Barack Obama, let's move this SF over here, and then again I'll use simple form and I'll say eat. So does Barack Obama eat dinner at 9? Okay. Notice again, no S. Okay. No S when I'm making a question or a negative statement. Let me point out something else here too. So let's say, this is about Bill, and I'll say Bill does not eat dinner at 9. Another way you can think about why no S on eat? It's a he. Why no S? Why no S on eat? It's a he. Why no S? Another way you can think about that is to think, oh, the S is here on does. The S is here on does. So the S is here, so I don't put it there. Okay. Now, one more quick thing to teach you about this, and then I think we're done with with the first part of chart 1-2. Okay, so does Barack Obama eat dinner at 6:30? This is a yes-no question. Yes-no question is a question that can be answered with yes or no. Does Barack Obama eat dinner at 6:30? Yes. Does Barack Obama eat dinner at 6:30? No. So the answer could be yes or no. This is how I make a yes-no question. If I want to ask another kind of a question in English, I can put another word here. So if I want to ask about a reason, I could say, why? Why does Barack Obama eat dinner at 6:30? Or if I want to know about a place, I could say, where does Barack Obama eat dinner at 6:30? If I don't know the time, if I don't know it's 6:30 and I want to ask about the time, I could say, when does Barack Obama eat dinner? Or who, what? Okay. Anyway, if I want to ask a yes/no question, I can just say, does Barack Obama eat dinner at 6:30? Or does Barack Obama eat dinner? If I want to ask another kind of a question, I can put a question word like why, where, when, up in the front. Some other question words that won't work here are who, what, but I think you know that. Okay. I think that's everything I want to tell you. Thank you for watching this.